Let me introduce our guests first, and then give you guys an opportunity to shout out whoever you see in there, because I see some of your friends and family members are also tuned in to there. So I am pleased to have Shalon here today. A lot of people already in the community know the work that you do. And Jerome, I want to thank you guys for your time today and for the just the rawness that you're going to bring to the show today. I appreciate that time. Seriously, I do. But right now, I know you've seen already some folks in there. Why don't you go ahead and shout them out?
I want to say good morning, everybody on Facebook. I want to give a big shout out to my husband, Chris Buskirk, my mom, Shalon Easterling, my daughter, Sienna, a.k.a. CC Finesse Lane, my son, Sammy, my son, Dion, my son, Najir, Miss Raquel, and everybody else who's watching. There's too many to go on, so thank you for tuning in.
That's right. Who do you see in there, Jerome? Show some love.
Good morning, ladies and gents. My name is Jerome again. Thank you for participating in the show. We're about to talk about some things, organically that, a lot of our voices are not heard. And, today, we are going to represent for the individuals whose voices aren't being heard on a daily basis.
That's right. And whose voices were taken. Most
Absolutely.
importantly. So we're going to get right into it. Let's first speak about your loved ones that have passed and your and into the mic. You want to take it out? There we go. I know. Just sweet voice. Take that bed voice off. No, I'm saying. We all have a different tone, right? So I want to start with you, Jerome, just because, it's new to you. I'm hoping that today is also serving as some form of therapy, just talking and expressing yourself. The community has done great with some of the work that they've been doing to help out. And we're talking about our most recent victim, which is Jonathan Williams. And we lost him 2 weeks now. It marks January 8th.
January 4th.
I'm sorry, January 4th. We lost Jonathan Williams. He was our most recent victim here in Allentown, Pennsylvania, to shooting. And I know Jonathan and Jerome were like Irish twins, really. And I felt like you were the perfect person to come in here and represent your brother's name and, what you stand for. But for right now, go ahead and speak to the people so that they know a little bit about Jonathan and the type of person and soul that he had.
Well, Jonathan, he's not officially. He's not biologically. He's not my biological brother. But when I met him about 11 years ago, it was just awesome. Like I met him in the boxing gym. He was 16, 17 years old at the time. We instantly clicked, He walked up to me, yo, you look like me. But I'm like, no, you look like me.
You still look alike.
So, already, his spirit, he was just so energetic, and instead of us training that day, we just sat on the side and we just started talking, you know what I'm saying? And from there, just, you can tell like a friendship just began to grow. So he invited me to his home. He was living on Church Street at the time with his mother, Jennifer.
Speak, maybe hold. Yeah, because they're saying they can't.
Can you hear me now? Oh.
Can you hear me now? That's fine. That's fine. Go ahead.
So he invited me to his family home. That's where Jennifer and his father was living at the time. His sister Destiny, brother George, and a few other people. Invite me to the house. Already there was a lot of food. You know how Spanish people we don't go through the when you do adoption, we go through the papers. We don't do that. If once they allow you to make your own plate and go into the refrigerator, you automatically
adopted.
So,
that's it. Your family.
So it took a while, to get used to the family. But once his mom gave me permission to make my own plate and go in the refrigerator, get my own Kool-Aid and stuff, I was definitely family.
Official.
And I was just halfway through it. So, after weeks, sometimes you're really considered family when you're allowed to go to the second floor of someone's home, the Spanish house. So once I got to the second floor, was able to play video games and stuff. I knew I was, they were family to me. So I call his mother my mother. Like I treat her like my mother. Like She's not my friend. You know, she's my mom. So
Right.
whenever she's giving me constructive criticism, or you know,
You're
she's yelling at me
respecting
in a
that.
motherly way, I shut up. I just, all right, she right.
Yeah.
So from there, just grow. We was there. We was together like every day. If we wasn't in the gym, you know, we traveled together. We took trips. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just did things what friends do. And I think what's more important is that most people are friends with when they got good things going on with them. You know what I'm saying? When bad things occurred, I think that's what made us like real friends. You know, there were situations
That's
that
what
occurred.
took you from friendship to brotherhood.
Yeah, like, you know, one time he called me like 3 in the morning. You know what I'm saying? He needed my help. I got up in the summertime. I didn't put a shirt on. No, I ain't had no socks on. I just put my shoes on, and I had basketball shorts, and I ran about 2 miles down the road to catch up to him. You know.
Yeah.
You know? But man, I don't even like to speak in past tense. He is amazing to me.
Thank you. Yes, go ahead. Absolutely.
You know, I think of him every day. He was always awesome. I learned so much from him. He actually, you know, I've learned to become passive. So, you know, he taught me how to be, you know, to be the aggressor sometimes. It's okay to balance it out, to be aggressive sometimes. So, you know, and I taught him, you know, be patient. So,
right.
You know, we were like, it was like yin yang every time. You know, we never had the typical issues that normally male friends go through. You know, we surpassed that. So it was. Man, Jonathan was amazing, man. You know, he just growing, just continue in spite of whatever mistakes he was making.
Yeah.
I never looked at those mistakes. You know, my thing is it's always attitude. You know, people make mistakes all the time. Like,
sure.
So if we focus on that, we're never gonna have friends. We're not gonna trust nobody. We're never gonna trust ourselves. So it was always his intentions that captured me, and we grew from there. His always intentions to do right, to do better. You know. He never wanted to see nobody down. Even his enemy, you know, he was giving water to his enemy, you know what I'm saying? So that was amazing to me.
He's a father.
He's a father of 7 children, 6 biological. He raised when he was, at the time he was in a relationship with his youngest son, Malachi's mother. He raised a little girl, you know. She's now 7 or 8 now, you know, since she was a baby. So
That's
that's
her
what
daddy.
she's known. That's her daddy.
Yeah.
You know, and if he was here, he wouldn't have said any different. He got 7. He wouldn't have been like, I got 6. No,
Yeah.
I got 7. So,
And he was super dad. You told me this man still found time to do the
you know,
community.
most of us dads, we, you know, we go through the days, the typical days, you know, you know, spend time with our, you know, kid. You know,
Sure, it's my
give
turn.
them back to the mom. You know, don't see our kids for another, you know, week and a half, and you know, we're okay with that. Not him. He wasn't okay. He had to see his kids every day. You know, he got up in the morning. I don't know how he did it. You know, sometimes, I'd be like, yo, what you doing? Oh man, I just went to go pick up, you know, this one, and that one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he would have 4, and then he would take the other one to school. He would take other 2 to school, come back to watch the other 4. Still go through his day to do what he got to do for himself.
Right.
And after that, pick them up, go to practices,
Whatever activities.
Still make it to go to work, you know, to do his regular 8-hour job, whether he was doing forklift or John was is a behavioral specialist. He worked with individuals who had multiple diagnoses of behavioral issues.
Okay.
You know, he he helped them build on their community skills. You know, promoting independency for them.
Yeah.
You know, because you know
That says a lot. A person that's in that
course.
type of job, that has to come from the heart.
So one thing, you know, I've always remembered, we always going to be pushing as a people is, you know, wildlife. You know, we always, you know, yell it out, you know, because we support him. But, you know, most people don't know wildlife means we invest love, devotion, loyalty into family empires. This started back in 2009 in New York by a young lady named Aya and her 2 brothers. They started wildlife. It started as a music movement. You know.
Okay.
You know, they rappers, so they was in the music industry, and John was always with them. Aya is John's best friend. You know,
Okay.
like he always speak by her like a. I thought I was close to him. You know,
Right.
nah, they, you know, there was levels to this, so that was,
Yeah.
you know, definitely real close. So I definitely look up to her. They started this movement called Wildlife. It was from 2009 to about 2011. You know, they was doing rapping. It began to, according to her, it began to slow down a little bit.
Okay.
So, you know, John was always around them. That's where he came in and said, yo, you know, told her, had to talk with her like, let's not drop this. Let's
keep it going.
Let's keep it going.
It means something.
Let's add to it.
Okay.
You know, that's when they had to sit down, and that's when they added wildlife fitness. That's where you see John doing the training through wildlife fitness.
Oh,
he was
okay.
training the youth, you know, through wildlife fitness. Also, clothing line came out of it. Under wildlife is called Daydream. It means sorry.
That's good. She knows.
It's a follow your dreams and leave footprints for others to follow. You know, Aya's goal is still her goal to open up a youth. That's why her and John were so close.
They had all these visions.
Yeah, she wanted to open up the youth, and John wanted to open up a boxing gym, and they was going to incorporate and put that together and just work together. And from there, that's all they wanted. So when people scream out wildlife,
yeah,
you know, that's what it means.
Okay.
You know, it's family oriented. You know what I'm saying?
I get it. Yeah.
It's different. You know, and that's all John wanted. John, if everything, no one remembers anything.
Yeah,
it's his children. They should never go for nothing. Like all his friends, you know what I'm saying? He should never go for nothing for his kids. We should always be there for his kids. I don't care.
And that's
if nothing else is going on. It doesn't matter. I don't care if nothing else works.
Right.
His kids got to stay together. That's his family's promise to him. That's my promise to him. We got to stay together.
And we as a community need to back you up in that. And we will talk and call our community to action to discuss, you know, how we can help and how we can be involved in pushing the agendas that you guys have. I do want you, Jonathan, though, to take me to, people think that this happens to the person that is getting into fights all the time, that, is arguing all the time or causing pain or hurt to someone, or just, a thug. A lot of people, let's be real, right? They think that if you're a victim to that, it's one or the other. Either you were completely innocent or, something was happening. But that day, he was working, right? It was a regular day.
We was actually on shift together on Thursday, the 3rd. We was on shift together at work. So we was together from 4 p.m. on Thursday. That day, all day, pretty much all day together, just working, leaving work, I don't want to get too much of it,
no.
But
more
he was
so
going home.
Uh-huh.
He was gunned down, in front of his porch, so going into his house.
More so for you, tell me how that made you feel, because we want to realize that this could happen to any of us. That just like you left work and you thought, peace, see you either later on today or see you tomorrow morning, without going into details about the specific incident and people involved, just you telling the people, what comes through your mind at that point, and how do you hold it together, being someone, like the person that you are. You've got kids, you've got baby moms that are calling and questioning stuff. How did you feel? And I thank you for sharing with us.
Well, when I first I got the call from his sister Destiny, everybody goes through the when they hear something, everybody what's the word I'm looking for,
like you're numb.
Yeah, they go through that phase differently. So when I didn't hit me right away. It was just like, it's not true. It's no way. You know what I'm saying? And then once I realized, okay, it did happen. Now I'm like, okay, all right, well, he gonna get out of it. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's a fighter. At this moment, it still hasn't hit me, like, emotionally. Like, I'm still replaying it in my head, like, how, like,
in denial.
Yeah, like how, just in shock. Being at the hospital, actually sitting in my car, watching the rest of the family go, in and out the hospital, just watching them. I was numb because physically I wanted to move to go in and console them, support them, and then I was just stuck, just like watching them going past my car and seeing George like cry out outside, yelling in the sky, like just like what, and I'm supposed to move and go console him, but I'm stuck in my car, like.
Right, because you're
like
going
this.
through your own
Yeah, so I'm
shock
watching,
and pain
watching
at that time.
You know, everybody's pain going through. You know, it's tough because we don't go through life. I think we prepare for everything else except death. Like we don't. It's not natural. It's not natural to the human mind. Death is not natural. So it's a supernatural thing, but it's not natural. So when it happens, our body's shocked, and you know, if we don't learn to deal with it, you know, there's, you know, anger, everything, all these things, bitterness is produced from death because we don't have an outlet. You know what I'm saying? There's no one we haven't been taught. No one teaches about death. You know what I'm saying? So growing up, we, you know, it's life. But when death happens, like, what do we do now?
You reflect a lot.
You know, life stops. You know, we stop working. We just stop being. We stop living at that very moment. Mentally, you know, we stop. Everything shuts down. So, I've never experienced this. I'm 32, and you know, my grandmother was the only death I had in my family, and she was 76. So I had a preparation because we knew she was dying. So it was like, all right, she lived her life. You know what I mean? She ran the park. She did whatever she did in Puerto Rico. But my brother, you know, it was different. Like, he had, you know, goals. You know what I'm saying? Like, goals. You know and, you know, not to sidetrack, but, you know, one of his main goals he always talked about was, he always spoke about fatherhood. So being that he always spoke about fatherhood, you know, my goal is to, you know, get men together, you know, maybe once a week or once a month to be able to express ourselves, because, you know, most men are taught not to cry. We're taught not to express our emotions towards one another. So, you know, the only time we express to one another is when we got beef or when we got some type of altercation.
Yeah.
But when we talk about, you know, when a guy look at me and tell me he love me, I'm like, you love me? Like,
yeah, it's true.
So,
but you want them to get more comfortable.
Myself, his mother Jennifer, his sister Destiny, and one of his close friends, Justin, we're establishing a trust fund account. Actually, we're gonna go meet with the lawyer this Wednesday, on the 23rd.
Okay. To
establish the EIN number, you know, the tax-free. To start a trust fund in all his 6 children, his kids' children's names, so that, because he already started a trust fund for when they get 18 years old. But you know, we started something different so that money can be, the kids can be taken care of daily, effectively, immediately. So that's what we're going to go establish. You know, people already gave money, so I have money to the side to put in
and start it.
So, for example, if we get 10 men together just to donate $10 a week from their paycheck, it doesn't hurt. You know what I'm saying? We buy sneakers.
We spend $10 on much less.
So I don't think $10 will hurt anybody's pocket. So if you get 10 guys, that's $100 a week. That's $400 a month that could take care of a household. You know, add extra, you know, food or some clothing of some sort. You know, and this is daily effective. It's going to be effective immediately to help it. So that's my, you know, if anything fails, I'm always gonna push that agenda, like
the kids.
My brother,
mainly.
My brother's a father, like, you know, like that's what I am. So, you know, I'm gonna push that. That's gonna be natural to me to push that. So I'll be pushing that.
Good.
So all the men that's listening
will want to help with you.
All the men that's listening, you know, if you was close to him, or if you're just a father or just a father figure, like, you know, just let's come together, man. Just men. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not even, if the women, they're just an add-on benefit. They always been an add-on benefit to our lives, right? But but man, we got to get together, man, for real, man. Just cut the mess out, man, and get together, man, and raise families.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Thank you so much, Jerome. I appreciate you sharing, and we're definitely going to speak more about what you have. We're going to speak more about what you have this is exactly what we want. We wanted for each of you to have the opportunity to tell your story. I want our audience to know these gentlemen for who they really, really were, because so much gets said out there, or they think they know, but they don't really know. And these men definitely deserve to be looked at as the human beings that they were, with their struggles and not, and all of the good also that was involved in them. It takes me to you, Shalon, because Paris is who we're talking about. Your son with you passed away at the age of 18, correct? 19, sorry. 19. And for you guys that don't remember but are from the Valley, this crime was committed at the Hamilton Towers right down from LCP. And you just celebrated or honored his
1 year
anniversary.
November 8th, 2018.
So tell us a little bit about Paris so that we know a little bit more about his gentle soul.
Where do I begin? Paris. Oh, goodness. He was my oldest. He was the one who taught me how to be a mother. He was the one who taught me how to grow up. He was also the one that whenever something was going wrong in my life, he was there for me to talk to, and he was always just a sweet person. He had a smile that lit up the room. He had red hair, hazel eyes. He was a pretty boy, we called him. My child did not like to break a sweat for nothing. So he played a couple sports, but like he told me, Mom, I don't like to sweat. It's not for me. I was like, okay. We had our trials and tribulations as any mother and son would. We had our good and our bad. I loved him. I technically have 9 children. Like Jerome said, I have an older daughter who is 23, who's not mine, but pretty much raised her since she was 12. So he was my oldest boy out of 6 boys that I have.
Which, by the way, you look real good for having all them babies. Let me just say.
Thank you. Guess what you have? When you have them boys, they keep you busy.
They keep you
in
going.
Shape.
That's true.
Football, basketball, baseball, you name it.
That's not easy.
It's not. But with Paris, he would be the type of person that would check up on you, make sure you were good. If you needed anything, he'd make sure you were good. I had a friend named Shima. She recently had like a surgery, and he checked up on her. And she was like, baby, I'm good. I kind of had like, them female things. He's like, I know what you're talking about, Miss Shima, but I needed to make sure you were good. And that always stuck out. And she called me and told me that. And I was just like, he was that young man. He would make sure my mom was good. He would make sure everybody was good but him. He would always put himself last, which I taught my kids, be humble.
Yeah,
be humble.
Be a giver.
Be a giver, not a receiver.
That's important.
Because that goes a long way.
Absolutely.
So
people will always remember that.
Get a little choked up because it's just
that's your baby.
It's my baby. I mean, regardless, you have your arguments, you have your fights, you have your relationships. I still love him. I treat him differently because I have 8 other children. Yeah. You cannot treat them all the same. Was he my hyperjack? Anybody who knows him? Yes, that child was ADHD. He was like flubber, bouncing everywhere. But it was a good energy that he gave off. It wasn't a bad energy. Right. So it's just, I give anything to see that smile one last time.
And it's true. As a mom, I always say you're a different mother to each kid. You love them the same, but you're a different mother to each kid.
You have to be.
You have to be,
because depending on the time of the day, I have no favorites. But depending on the time of the day, I have a favorite. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's a mother's way. But I love them all the same. Yeah. One might just need me more than the other.
Absolutely.
And as him being 19, and his favorite line was, I'm a grown man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, you're not a grown man because I'm still doing your laundry. I'm still saving you plates.
Right.
You ain't a grown man, But as a mother, and Jerome can help me with this, I had to let him grow up, and that's hard. I wanted to
talk a little bit more about that because you know what, we all, especially with that I'm grown child, that stage.
Listen, Damaris and I had a pre-talk before. I said, my kids are non-paying boarders. Ain't none of y'all grown. Y'all living in my house rent-free. Ain't none of y'all grown. Y'all non-paying boarders. And
That's
I tell them that all the time. Grown, you're not grown. Because people think at 18 it stops. People think at 18 you're supposed to push your children out because they're adult. They're not adults. No. At 19, Paris wasn't ready to be a man. At 19, he didn't know anything. He was still wet behind the ears. Meaning is, you still needed me.
Yes.
In a way that a son needs a mother for the guidance. Yes, I had to let you grow up. I had to let you be a man. I had to let you make mistakes. I had to let you fall. Mm-hmm. And that's the hardest thing to do as a mom. But I never would turn my back on him.
You were there.
I will always be there. I will always be there for all my children whenever they need me. Yeah. You're never going to stop needing a mother. It doesn't matter if you're 19, 32, 42, 52. As long as I got breath in my body, your mom is always going to be there and always have your back.
Preach
always. I mean, I'm just keeping it real because it's like a bond between a mother and son. You can't even express. It's different between a mother and a daughter.
That.
You can't. You can't.
You can't replace that.
Because I feel like I have 6, and I say 6, like Jerome said, I have 6 boys, and that includes Paris. One of y'all gonna take care of me when I get old. Because I did my job. You know what I mean? But it's like, for any of y'all that think you a grown man, ain't none of y'all grown.
Yeah.
You know? Because who's the first person you call? Your mom. When you're in trouble, who do you call? Your mom. When you need somebody, who do you call? Your mom.
Mother.
Even
Sure,
if you're
I
mad,
agree.
even if she tells you, baby,
agree,
oh,
Jay.
you know what I mean? Even when things ain't going right and we come at you, but it's coming at you with a place of love.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
It's a
And you
place of
were,
love.
and Paris was doing good. You guys were working with Youth Build, right?
Yes.
At the time, so he was
Yes.
trying to get acclimated and get a
Yes.
skill.
Yes. Lauren Kingier, who is the director of Youth Build, I'll never forget, a friend told Paris about Youth Build. For those of you who don't know what Youth Build is, it's a program that is on Chew Street for children, for young adults who are pushed out of the Allentown School District, and it's to help you get a trade, your GED or diploma. So it's a great program because you learn a skill. You learn a skill hands-on. So he called me one day. Actually, he texted me and said, Mom, I have an interview at Youth Build. I didn't know what it was. I had to look it up. I had to Google. That's my thing. You know, I had to do some research.
Yeah.
Then when I found out what it was, I was like, you know what? I'm proud of you. I was like, I wish you good luck. So, of course, you know, I told him, you know, you got to dress up. You got to look. Mom, I know how to do this. I know what I need to do. I was like, okay. All right. You got this. All right. So I went to work. He texted me. He's like, Mom, guess what? I was like, what? He's like, I got the job. I got the position at Youth Build. I was like, I got so choked up. I started crying. I was like, I'm so proud of you. He's like, no, Mom, I'm proud of myself. That like choked me up, like as a mom, because it's like, I always want my children to do what's best for them, not what I want them to do. As parents, we do have high expectations for our children, but you got to let them find their own way.
That's right.
And he found his own way.
Yeah.
And he found something that he loved. He gained a skill, plus he gained an additional family.
Nice.
Youth Build is like a family.
Yeah.
They all have each other's back because they all have the same criteria. They're all
Okay.
there from the same background.
So
They're
they
all-
do end up building a family
Yes.
bond between each
Yes.
other from
Yes.
their time, you know, what their
Yes.
experiences are.
Definitely. Definitely.
So, you know, this is a prime example of just finding a balance in that grown-up life, right? Because you have a past.
Yes.
You'd be in the young, reckless, you know, and you have that group of friends. And then now you're trying to find your way to be grown, be responsible, make right decisions.
Correct.
But those are still your friends.
Yeah. Friends.
How many of us have them?
Friends. How do I describe that? With having a large family, your brothers and sisters are your friends. They're the ones who's only going to be there for you. I'm not saying that you don't have friends, but there's too many young people out here that are loyal to people that aren't loyal back to them. Like we lost Jonathan. Shouldn't have lost Jonathan too soon. We lost Paris. Shouldn't have lost Paris. The list goes on and on and on of all the young people that we lost too soon because of loyalty. Your friends, if they're loyal to you, need to come forward. They need to speak on your behalf. Because like Jerome said, we are our loved one's voice right now. We have to advocate for them in the present, in the aftermath. And friends, people use that word so loosely because you can count how many true friends you have on one hand.
That's it.
And that's what I mean, like, got your back. We'll ride for you. We'll be there for you every step of the way. You can tell your deepest, darkest secrets and it won't go no further. And when you get mad at them, they're not going to use it against you.
That's true. That's a true friend.
That's a true friend.
And how Jerome and Jonathan had it, where even through rough times, you were still there 100%.
And like he said, this isn't friendship. This is brotherhood.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to. Miss Jennifer didn't have to birth him biologically. That's her baby. Because I know I have 150 other children out there that I did not birth biologically.
That's right.
But they're my babies. And I'll be there for them every step of the way.
Shout out to Jennifer. Love you.
But you know
We
what
have
I
some new
mean?
people in there now.
People take that perception that you got to be born into the family, and it's not.
No.
Because just like Jerome, I feed you, I let you stay
Yeah.
there, I'll take you to job interviews, I'll give you money, I'll give you my last. Like, that's a mom. And no discrediting their mom, because their mom is there, and it's
Yeah.
nothing saying that, but it's just, it takes a village
Sure.
to raise these babies. And we're the village.
We're the village here.
We're the village.
And we have to like we said, give voice to these young men and women that we're losing, and try to see what we can do so that we see some flags. I mean, what could you say to the parent that has the kid that still has like the circle of friends that they probably shouldn't have, or, you know, just...
As being a mom as many children as I have, life gets ahead of us. We get busy. We don't have time. We always say, give me 5 minutes, baby. Give me 5 minutes. You know what I mean? You got to be involved. You got to know who your friends, who your children are hanging out with, who their friends are. And when I say know their friends, not just Jerome down the street. You need to know Jerome's full government. You need to know where Jerome lives. You need to know who they're hanging with. Like, because if anything happens, the worst thing a parent can get is, I don't know where my child is. You need to know where your child is when something jumps off. If somebody's house gets kicked in, or someone's having a house party and something jumps off, you need to know where your child is and who they're hanging with, and make it a point. Because I'm old school. I need to know who Damaris Vega is. I need to know their mother. I need to know their father. I need to know auntie, grandma, abuela, whoever's raising, whoever is the legal guardian of that child. I need to know your first, your last, your phone number, your address, everything.
I agree. I'm that parent. And if you're not picking up your phone, I'm calling all your friends' phones, because I have all their numbers too.
It's true. And my kids get mad. Oh, you don't need to know. No, I need to know. Because when you go to that friend's house, that parent is responsible for your well-being.
That's right. You're
liable. So if anything happens, I'm coming after you. You ain't coming after me. And the same rules apply when your baby's in my house. I'm liable, and you're coming after me.
That's right.
So you got to be involved. And people think that at age of 13 it teeters off. No, you need to stay on, because these teenage years are rough.
These are the most important, I feel like. I feel like these are the ones that really, well, like we said, you're taking these friends into this different part of your life. And are they worthy of that? You know, do you want them to be a part of the new grown-up you and the new changes?
It's the truth. I mean... Feel free to jump in.
Yeah. The round table's open now.
I'm a better listener than I'm a speaker.
Iris Costa says, yes, parents need to be involved, all these kids, and raising themselves.
Oh, well, you know, Miss Iris, you are so true. Because these babies should not, because they're babies themselves. They should not be raising themselves. Listen, I'm a working mother. We're all working parents in here. And I'm not discrediting anyone. Shout out to all the single mothers, all the single fathers holding it down, because I've been that single parent. But we got to be there for our babies. Babies can't be raising babies. You can't have the oldest walking the youngest to the bus stop.
Yeah. And also just, you know, like you said, be like, I'm nosy. If my daughter or somebody's sleeping too long, I'm like, what's going on with you? What's up? I'm all up in their face, you know? Get up. Take a shower. Let's go do something, or go do something. Kick them out the house so that they can, you know, go get involved into something. But, you know, you also need to make sure that you're, you know, that you're that support for them, because otherwise this whole raising each other thing, they think that they need to listen to their friend who is going through the same exact thing, and they think that that's the counseling that they should get, you know?
It's true.
Instead of from us, because we're either not having that open line of communication with them. Maybe they fear having that conversation with us. But I do a combination of both. You know, I like to have the conversations and, you know, still give them a little bit of space, but be nosy. Why, where, who, what.
And you have to be. And I think the biggest problem with some parents, as us being young parents in the room and out here in the city, in the valley, we make that mistake of wanting to be friends with our kids. You can't be friends with your kids, because then when you want to be a parent, they're not going to respect you.
They're not going to respect it.
So it's like you need to let them know who's the boss. I'm your mother first. We can kiki ha ha, but I'm not going to have a drink with you. I'm not going to party with you. I'm your mother.
That's right.
And you need to respect me as such.
Yeah.
Just to add on the friendship thing, I think it's important. You know, because you know I see it all the time. You know, yeah, that's my friend. You know, we use that word loosely, and you know, for me, just a simple definition of what friend is to me is a friend is someone who don't need me. I'll say that one more time. my real friends are people that don't need me in their life. I have friends that don't need me in their life. Like, I have entrepreneur friends like Jonathan, and this vice versa. He didn't need me as his friend. I had nothing to offer him, or vice versa. So he was able to separate of his choosing, but he didn't. What kept us together was outside of what he had material or what I had material. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was a hard thing. It was a heart and mind thing. And I think I see a lot of friends. Oh yeah, man, we homeboys. Because one got money and the other got a car, or there's always something that's attached to the friend.
I get what you're saying.
Or two boys that friends. You dated my ex. Now y'all not friends. I thought y'all was friends like 20 years ago.
Right.
I mean, for 20 years, like so.
Just having more substance to the relationship.
More substance. So I have entrepreneurs. I have entrepreneurs as friends. They don't need me as a friend. I can't give them $5. So what?
Right.
What can I do as a friend? But because they get attached to me, it just shows a lot. So whenever they giving me constructive criticism or giving me some type of advice, it's true. It's raw. Like, it's not.
Right.
They're not.
Because they're
not yes men. They're not telling me what I want to hear. They're not. You wrong.
Yeah. Yes men. That's important.
So that's it.
I agree.
And I like that. And like Jerome said, I have a few close friends. And when I say for a woman's perspective is when you're going through something and you could just call them and they know when you're going through something and you could just scream, rant, rave, cry, and they just listen. They don't interrupt you. Yes, girl, what's wrong with you? What's going on? I know you're having a bad day because you being distant from me. I ain't heard from you like 3 or 4 days, so what's going on?
That's right.
And it's like they know. And then they know enough to respect you to give you your space.
Just enough.
Just enough.
Just enough.
Just enough.
But if those days go by, it's like, where you at? What you doing?
I got to check in with you. Make sure you're good. Because it's like, for me, they know I'm going through a lot. Can't catch a break.
Yeah.
It's like one thing after another. So it's like they respect and they know. It's like I have a friend who's going to sit there and tell me, you got to go to church. Yes. And I love her. Then you got my other friend, like, I'm going to tell you how it is. You might not like it. Call you out. This is how it is. I'm tired of your nonsense. You need to get it together. Let's do this.
Yeah. And, that reminds me of what you were saying about men, because I feel like girls get that.
Yes.
It's a little bit hard because some women are competitive and, that stuff happens. But I think as you get older, you know how to filter that out, and women get it, like needing to be there for each other, supporting each other. But I do feel like it's a big thing with the men that they need to work on having, like with you. I'll tell you the truth, Jerome. I've known you for a little while, and I didn't even know that you and Jonathan were not biological brothers.
Yeah, most people don't know that. Yeah.
I'm going to tell you something right now. That speaks volumes. I like that you shared that, though, because you just proved, right, how two grown men can and should have that type of relationship. There's no doubt in my mind that in his last moments, he didn't doubt that you weren't going to be fending for his kids if he had to go. I'm sure of that.
Yeah.
And you're proving that right now. And we need to establish more friendships like that. And I think men need to be okay with saying, I love you, man, and crying for each other, or, what's up? What's going on with you? And share, I'm depressed, or,
We don't. I wish I could, pick up his phone and, man, I'm depressed. The men that do when we do it, we have one male close friend that we open up ourselves to, but it's not like in a group setting like you guys. You guys are, just like that at the mall, wherever you at Rainbows, or, at the gas station. You guys
congregate.
He said rainbow.
They're taking those away, honey.
They're taking those away.
Taking them away.
It's Ross now, sweetheart. It's Ross.
It's Ross now.
Yeah, we don't even have them here, man.
That's
but
funny.
Question for you, Jerome. Do you think it's being secure in your manhood? Because I feel it's communication. Do you feel it's being secure in your manhood? I mean, seriously, like real talk. Because I tell my boys all the time, and I we're having brothers and stuff like that. It's like, I love you, I hate you, this, that, and the third. And it's like, you never know what today has promised.
Not to go too far back, but for me specifically, I was, if you ask me who my role models were in my life, honestly, I can't think of a man's name, and that's being honest.
That's a
And
shame.
my family, it's full of
And
women.
you're how old?
I'm 32.
That's a shame.
You know, my mom raised us. You know, my mom raised me. And my grandma, when my mom was at work, it was my grandmother. You know, or it was my aunt. You know, I had uncles that were around. I had one uncle. They were working a lot. You know, I have a favorite uncle. You know, but for the most part, the uncles that was there, they was doing their own thing. They were, you know, I never actually, hey, unc, let's sit down and talk about life. Not one time. I can't, and it affects me. It's like I'm sensitive about it right now. Like to think about like. So in all my success, it came from women. Even as a kid, growing up, going to school. You know why I got up? You know, go to school to go see a girl.
Yeah.
So I
Oh
was
my gosh.
I was an honor roll student. So, you know, I would try to even through my high school, I would get out, try to be the first one to finish my curriculum, so I can meet the girl that I like at her door, so I can walk her to her next class to go to my class. So that was always my success, and everything I do was always women. I think
Women motivated.
It came to, you know, I was an athlete, so I didn't really like channel into women until like my junior year out of high school. So
Yeah.
I just became so in tune that, you know, what men see as disgusting, I want to learn everything about the women. When was her menstrual cycle? When she ovulated twice a month? When she didn't?
Well, that's important to know.
What takes her?
Very important.
What takes her off? What makes her happy? So when I'm the cause of a problem with a female,
Yeah.
I'll go back home and reflect on it, and I already know I can identify the issue, and I'll be like, "Dang, that was me. That wasn't her this time. I
Yeah.
know that was me." You know, I'm truthful
more
to myself,
conscious,
so
yeah.
I'm conscious. I'm like, "Dang, I did that to her." And then, you know, sometimes my ego get in the way when she don't see it, so I'll be like, you know, I make it her fault. But I know when I go back home, I'm like, that was all me. That was my fault. Like, and as a man, my mentality is, and our mentality should be like, I'm a fixer. You know, we're fixers. So
Yeah.
most relationships
Like you don't need fixing, you fix.
Yeah, most problems you see that any problem you see out here, now my mentality, I blame it on the man all the time. Even when I see, you know, everybody again makes their own choices.
Yeah.
But for the most part, the man can fix it. You know what I'm saying? Families are broken because of men. You know what I'm saying? Issues are occurred because of men. Everything starts from the man. I don't care how you look at it. Go ahead.
We have an avid listener, and he's been on our show, Nice Jones. I don't know if you've met him, but I think you guys need to meet for sure, especially with this
Nice NYCE.
NYCE.
Oh yeah, I know him. Very good friend of mine.
Yes.
DJ. Awesome DJ.
He definitely no, not that he's not a DJ.
Oh, he's not.
No, Nice Jones. So
Okay.
I'll link you guys up. He's on there now, and he said all facts, talking about the manhood thing that you're talking about, and that's been proven. One of the factors as to why men don't live as long as women do is because of not sharing emotions and communicating.
Wow.
true.
That's
He's about
crazy.
to get his doctorate's degree, but
Well, he needs to teach me how to get that too. Then.
Listen, no, he's right. Don't you think they should meet each other?
man.
Yeah.
This young man has been able to, grown man, has been able to accomplish some scholarships, to obtain some scholarships for his education. And I know that you are someone that's always looking to elevate yourself. But as far as like that fatherhood club that you guys need for these messages that you are talking about right now, you guys need to link up for sure.
And I need you on my team, Jerome, because everything you said, I mean, you're going to make some woman very happy because you can recognize the concerns when a man is at fault. You're humble.
I can now.
You're
Yeah,
respectable.
definitely
You have a good heart.
I think if it bothers me more, I'll be like, man, it wasn't her this time. Man. I'll be like, I'll be like, and I take it to the chin. So, you know, just not to cut you off, but, you know, just it's important. Like now I understand men, boys, like, man, we got to be like closer than ever right now. Like, you know, so anybody that's listening right now, like if you know, you want to use me, like, man, you know.
And if the women know of a good father out there, or some, it doesn't have to be whatever you. I don't know. You good. The word "good" could be
Used
loosely. But if you know someone that can use the influence and the
A mentor.
guidance and a mentor definitely reach out to us, okay? Especially you, Jerome, so that way you could start seeing who the key players could be, and seeing this vision come to life. I want to make sure that we're involving our audience. Those are my co-hosts because they're definitely engaging here. You guys are getting a lot of props for being strong. They're appreciating you guys sharing all of your stories with them. Jasmine says she's very proud of you, Jerome. Carolyn Fry says grown men and women need to be there for each other first and foremost, then we can be present for our kids.
Agreed.
I agree. I agree.
So true.
If y'all are not good, they're not going to be good. Edie says, well, Jerome Rodriguez, your mom did a great job. You are such a great person, so respectful, smart, and humble. Keep being great.
Spoken like a mom.
Hello, Denise. Yeah, see you in there. She said hello to you, Shalon.
Hi, Denise. I miss you all the way in Florida. Wish you were here.
Karen says, Jerome Rodriguez, you are rich in thought, mind, and deed. You are a wonderful role model and will be for Jonathan's kids as well as your own.
I love you, Vanilla.
And I said, yeah, you guys have met at the Caring Place and Taste of Soul.
Shout out to you, Joan. I remember now.
Okay, so Joan says, I do have an initiative I have been silently working towards for the Valley and United Fathers and could always use some help. People to collab with. There you have it. And that's what the outlet does. We're trying to make sure that we are not just speaking. The conversation is important. We want them to hear it. It's because hopefully it'll spark a conversation and thoughts and encouragement in their ends, but finding our heroes within our own community so that we can get together. I think if the rest of the community sees forces like this within the community, they feel a little bit more bold, Talking about Martin Luther King and honoring him, somebody had to sacrifice themselves for the greater good, you know what I mean? And, everybody's always thinking like, I don't know, should I step up or should I be that hero? Should I be the one that initiates or makes it happen? You feel like you're not going to have supporters or not going to have help, like when you're trying to put something together, but they're out here, the community leaders. And I think, by us engaging in more conversation, we make a difference like that. So now let's get into very shortly, because we're going to get into DJ jam session still, guys. Okay, so we can jam. If you have requests, let us know. You can drop it right in there and we'll hook you guys up. But let's give a clear path about what you do now. For you, and we've got our shirts on, repping. We've got Shalon, who actually has been an activist in the community already, trying to make change and create a lot of noise. And I know, Jerome, you have already a checklist of the work that you're going to do to try to honor John, to help and make sure that, this doesn't... I don't want to say that this doesn't continue to happen, because we don't want to put a stigma on our city and our town. Don't claim that we have the high crime rate. Claim we have an issue, yes. Acknowledge it, yes.
Yes.
And act towards it. But when we start thinking that way, I think that's when you start turning a blind eye. I think that's when you don't care and you see the faces of the ones that are lost and you just go through your timeline and that's it. You maybe feel a little bit of pain in your heart for the family members, and then you're just going and scrolling and you're on to the next conversation, or you're just doing your going on about your day. So we want to talk about, what do we do? What have you done? Talk about your organization, Shalon, how it came about, how you were able to make it happen, and then we're gonna go into the music break.
Well, I work at Promise Neighborhoods in the Lehigh Valley. We recently were just awarded a $150,000 grant through PCCD for Cure Violence. If anybody who doesn't know what Cure Violence is, it's a model that looks at violence as a contagious disease. So we are looking to hire credible messengers, like hint, someone like Jerome, who's well known in the community. Meaning is we're going to do the reverse effect. We're going to be reactive before proactive. Meaning is we're going to try to stop violence from even starting. When you hear something brewing or you know something going on, we're going to try to interact and come in to make sure that we don't lose any more of our black and brown babies out here.
That's amazing.
Yes, it's a lot of work and it's near and dear to my heart. We meet every Tuesday. The sub steering committee is called Zero Youth Violence. We meet every Tuesday at 8:45 a.m. at Dove's Memorial Community Church at 457 West Allen Street. That is a plug for anyone who wants to be involved. Please come out.
Tuesday at what time?
8:45 a.m. And I don't want to hear that it's too early, because if you really want to be there and change our city, you're going to make it happen. So we are always looking for new faces. Jerome, I extend an invitation to you. I know everyone has work schedules. I'm not saying you have to be there weekly, but I would like to see new people at that table that want to be involved.
Can they contact you, Shalon?
Definitely.
And what are your Facebook?
You can contact me through Facebook. You can contact me on my email. Hit me up on Facebook Messenger.
Give your plug. What's your name on Facebook? The whole name.
My full name on Facebook is Shalon Easterling. Messenger, same thing. You can email me at stalon916@msn.com. I will get back to you within 24 hours. So please, we have been working on this since March. We were awarded the grant in July. So we have a lot of work to do.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome.
Thank you.
All right, I'm checking time. We're going to come back. We're going to discuss, again, just a clear line. You went over everything, but I just want a clear line. That way we know the folks that want to get involved, so that they can contact you for whatever part it is that they can contribute to or help out with. But let's do a DJ J Jam session. You guys ready for that? We were jamming early in the morning. Everybody dancing in their seats.
Definitely.
I think we could use some of that. You guys don't go anywhere. Sometimes Facebook hates on us and shuts us down. But please stay with us if you're in the tune in. And I'm sorry if I've been ignoring you on the tune in. I'm going to go there right now. Stick with us there. If there's any comments in there, I'm about to read them up when we get back. But we are about to have our MLK conversation, which is super duper important. Like I said, that I Have a Dream speech is so relevant today. And that's another very serious conversation that we need to have out here, because that's another thing that's killing our youth, especially our black youth. And we do want to address that. Yeah. Shalon, as an African-American woman, let's talk for real. You know, what have you dealt with, or what do you think? Let's talk about, what do you think we can do as the people?
Don't look at skin color. Don't look at skin color, because we're all the same. What, I'm different because I'm black, you're white, you're Hispanic? I'm the same. The only thing different is, with me being a black female, is I have to prove myself every day. I have to work harder. And it shouldn't be like that. I get passed over even though I might have the qualifications, but I'm not the right color skin. And the sad part is, racism isn't dead. It's vigilant. It's here. It's very, because for lack of words, I might get in trouble for it. I don't care. The person who's ruling our world made it very okay for racism to be here today. He's making it okay for you to sit there and say that boy and other derogatory names and statements. I will respect the people down south, because you know what? It's been down there. And why I say that is because they don't hold the door for me. They'll let the door slam in my face. Up here is, I'm going to smile in your face, and then I'm going to talk about you behind your back. It shouldn't be like that. At the end of the day, when you turn the lights off, we're all the same color.
That's true. And I do think people are more comfortable saying what they have to say because of the leader that we have today.
And it is, and I'll say that because I fight every day, because I have multiracial babies. My husband is Caucasian. So every day we have to sit together as a united front. And every day I get talked about. You know what I mean? And it's not right, because my husband is white. It'd be different if my husband was black. It'd be okay.
Yeah.
Oh, why you with that? Blah, 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 bleep, bleep. You know what I mean? But it's been going on for eons. It's just the roles have been reversed now. Black women are dating outside their race, and now it's a problem.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be like that, because we don't teach our children color. We should not teach our children color. Let me rephrase that, because this is all learned behavior. We're all learned to hate, and we shouldn't hate. They're getting it from somewhere. It shouldn't matter if your daughter or son is friends with that white girl down the street or that Hispanic girl down the street. It shouldn't matter because we're all one and we should be united as one, not because of the color of our skin.
Yeah.
I thought racism was over years ago, but obviously it's here today and it's going to be here for a while unless we change that behavior.
Yeah. Tony Tone says it never went anywhere.
It didn't.
I
agree
feel
with
like
him.
we see it more because we have cameras now. We have ways to record conversations if you catch somebody doing saying something
Yes.
inappropriate.
Yes.
And then obviously we spoke about Trump being in leadership, so people are being more vocal about it. But I don't think that it's ever been anywhere. We've all had a story that we've had to come home to, right?
Yes.
I talked about my son. My son is darker than you.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? So when they see him, he's just a young black man.
Yes.
That's it. So and he's been profiled twice.
See, and that's wrong. And for our babies, our black and brown babies, we got to protect them even more. And like you said, when you taught your son how to drive, you got to teach them not to be racially profiled.
Yep.
And it's a shame that you're being stopped. You're not stopping me because I have a busted tail light. You're not stopping me because my car got hit. You're not stopping me because my license expired. You're stopping me because I'm black.
Driving while black.
Driving while black.
Yeah.
That's not cool.
No. And the fact that I have to tell my son to, if it's late at night, to not wear his, put his hoodie on.
Oh.
Or I have to tell him, these are facts. This
It's
is
true.
This is very,
It's
very
true.
true. And I can't stress it enough, Like I said, he just got his first car. So now he can go on his own. And the biggest fears for me are always. I almost didn't want him to have a car. Isn't that
Yes,
a shame?
it is.
So much productivity that gets done when you have a car so you can get to work, get to school, do whatever you got to do. And there was something inside of me that was like, I'd rather drive him around for the rest of my life.
And as a mother, you shouldn't have to feel that way.
Right.
You should not have to feel that way because I told my children they had 2 strikes against them. You're black and you're male. I'm just going to keep it real. I tell them every day, you got 2 strikes against you. You are a black male.
Yeah.
And you get racially profiled every day because of the way you look. Like, not being like Jerome. Like, if they see him, he got the dreads.
Yeah, right off the bat.
He got the hoodie, the fitted cap, he got to be a drug dealer or he's a gangbanger or he's something. It's all that racial profile and that stereotype.
That's right.
And Jerome's an entrepreneur.
Nothing
Entrepreneurs
applies.
dress like that. Nothing applies.
Nothing applies.
Works hard every day, take care of his babies. My son works hard every day. That's what he needs to do as a young black male, going back to school, going to college, get his degree. But they just have this stigma that our males are never going to be more than drug dealers.
That's what they want you to
Gangbangers.
think.
Yes.
That's what they want you to think. But what you want to do, what I feel like we need to do is be together as one. Because even, and again, you as a representative of the community, even the sisters, I feel like need to show more unity with one another. You know what I mean? So that you're winning.
We all need to work together. We all need to work together and come together. Not do this thing on the side and do my thing on the side. I don't want clout. I don't want accolades. We're all here for the same mission and cause. And I think that's the problem. We're always trying to one-up one another instead of coming together as a united front.
Yes, I agree.
I want more of my sisters to come on board. I don't want to hear, oh, you better than me, I'm doing this. No, I'm doing this not just for my child, not just for the Jonathan Williams, not just for the Kareem Feds, the Javard Lanes, or anybody else who lost a child out here. I'm doing it for all babies because enough is enough, and that's what you need to say. Your city, your voice, enough is enough.
That's right. What do you think about mass incarceration? The new form of slavery is what I say. I mean, luckily we just recently got the... I'm sorry, I'm losing my sense of words. A lot of pardons, like for non-violent crimes, because when it all started, it was the catch and frisk time. I'm sorry, we love Clinton.
Yes.
But Clinton did that to our people. He's the one that signed off on that, and that caused for a lot of mass incarceration for just a bag of weed. So those men that are in there now that have missed out on all this time, are dealing with that. The ones that just started, that haven't been able to petition or anything like that yet. What do you think about that, mass incarceration?
It's been around for a while. I mean, sometimes you have to pick your battles. I know it sounds crazy when I say that, but you really do. You have to look at everything. I mean, because by you putting a felony on somebody for possession of weed, you're barring them from trying to get a job. You're not trying to help them. Like, the system fails our black and brown babies. It fails them heavily. It fails them hard, because for the simple fact is, again, it's that label, that stigma. And it's like, you really got to look at it. By you putting this misdemeanor, this felony on them, you're keeping them down. You're not helping them. You're not bringing them up. You're not lifting them up.
Yeah.
You're just keeping them stuck in the system where you want to keep us stuck. We don't want to be stuck.
Right.
We have every right to rise up above this. Okay, we made a mistake.
Sure.
I'm pretty sure a white politician makes plenty of mistakes.
Still.
I'm pretty sure they do things and they get swept under the carpet, but because they're white.
Yeah. White collar crime.
White collar crime.
Right.
It's never to the forefront. But let a black person do the same thing. Our name is in the paper. We're this, we're that.
Could you imagine if Obama would have been half?
Oh my gosh.
Doing half of what our current president is doing right now.
Listen,
could you imagine?
He would be impeached.
Are you kidding me?
He would be impeached.
He would not have been in there. I think he wouldn't have even made it to the, to be president. Because we found out about Trump's, foul stuff way early before that. So I just feel like, they're not held to the same standard. You know what I mean?
They're not. And to go back on that real quick, ain't none of y'all can get mad because y'all voted him in. And now you see what he's doing. So that's why voting is very important. Sidebar. Because y'all voted him in. And now look, he's trying to run the world like a business.
And we talked about that here, especially about voting and the importance of it. Even in the small communities, you as a mom of having lost a child to violence, you put your plan into action. You're doing something. We had one of the school shootings parents just recently become a congresswoman for her state. So I love that we're taking that matters into our own hands, because that's where it starts. Congress. Men, the small offices, the judges in your town that are locking these young men up, that are just throwing the book at them. That's something else that's definitely hurting the system and helping them, the ones with the agenda.
Yep.
When it comes down to that, what do you have to say about mass incarceration?
I've been a victor to that. I've been incarcerated. For a nonviolent charge. Didn't do a lot. Did about 5 months for it. This was back in 2007. I get it. There's a lot of prisons made, a lot of people in it. But I sit back and look like, all right, just because they made the jail doesn't mean we got to put ourselves in it either. They throw the bait, but we bite it.
That's
no one
big.
forces us to grab from that plate. But we take risk every day, whatever we decide to get into, and that's just the consequences. And we know this prior to doing it. We know, this letter says don't do this, so it's not like we don't know. We know. So, but we still take a risk every day, no matter what we do. But there are a lot of people who's in there that didn't do anything. So
exactly.
I'm just speaking in reference to the ones that do indulge in something, and then the consequences going to come after. Me. When I got incarcerated, I did 5 months. I got out in 2008. It was the after effect that affected me through years, because I'm a college grad, but I still, when I got incarcerated, that was pretty much, no one looked at me like that. Like getting jobs, I was going through agencies, like you drink water. Like I was at one job for 2 days, and then
shouldn't have to be that way.
The job assignment was done. They canceled it, so you're like, oh man, what I do now?
Yeah. We were talking about you wanting to be a police officer, which we need more people from our own neighborhoods to be police officers, so that they're more relatable to the folks and know how to deal with them. And he hasn't been able, even though he passes all the tests, he hasn't been able to become one. just because of that.
See, that has to change.
Yeah, I
You
actually
see,
tried
that's
to.
the cycle, though. You know.
It is.
Yeah, I tried. I took the attempt twice to become a Allentown police officer. I passed everything with flying colors. I mean, the athletic part, no one couldn't touch me. But I passed the written test, and a lot of I was out-edged by other individuals that were already. They give, like, if you're a firefighter or some type of government, they give you additional 10 points. So let's say I've scored a 80.
Yeah.
And someone scored a 79. That means they get an extra 10 points. Now they're 9 points higher than me. So now my rank, instead of up here, now it's down here because they have some type of government background, something like that. So, but with me, they was like, oh, you know, I went through the interview with the chief of police. I didn't make it to the last one because of my background came back. And when you get certain charges in Pennsylvania, they automatically suspend your license. So not only I had one effect, I had two effects because my license was suspended. So they used all that to say, oh, you know,
how you get to work.
We're gonna go to somebody. Yeah, we're gonna go with somebody that, you know, obviously is, you know, fit for the job. Fit
when really what qualifies you the most is that you're from the neighborhood.
Been here. You know what I'm saying? I'm still here. So
and you represent the neighborhood.
All right, our time is finishing. We never have enough time. I'm gonna quick say the people's voices. Speak for the people we have here. Nice Jones wants to let everybody know Lehigh County judges are up for election in 2020. Please stay aware. Check it out. You can check people's bios, the ones that are running, so that you pick the best one that suits our community, because they need to match our community. We have more minorities in our community than ever before, so we want someone that looks like us up in there. Anita Mayer Barnes says we must take a stand and get involved. Yes, ma'am. That's the message.
Anita.
Ashley says she agrees with you. She says the aftermath is the worst part. It kills your spirit.
Yes.
Because at least you're trying and keep going, but some people just give up and they're like, well, then this is my life. Ashley, having a felony is not easy, especially being a part of a minority group. There needs to be more programs to help people find jobs. Yes, with all these people that are now going to be released, what is going to happen with them? How are we going to back them up? And Nice Jones says this law was enacted to have your slate cleaned, and everyone with nonviolent convictions need to see where they stand. Jordan Harris, a rep out of Philly, fought for this. Yep. So go to https://clspla.org/mycleanslatePA. Jerome brought that up when we were having our pre-interview. So definitely encourage people. Are you going to put your petition in to see if you can get cleaned up?
Just to add, for anybody that if you have the bill was passed in the summertime of 17. If you have a non-violent charge or you was convicted for something non-violent or certain misdemeanors that's like above second degree, they're also accepting some that's first, depending on what it is. But for the most part, if you haven't been arrested or convicted in the last 10 years, you can go put a petition in now to get that expunged so that it won't come up on your record anymore. Also, but the ones that don't put a petition in, eventually is gonna they're fixing the system within 2 years. They're gonna have a system within the police and the government. They're gonna automatically start expunging people. So even if you don't know, automatically you're gonna be expunged, you know, from the list.
Yes, but I encourage for you to not wait, because the best thing would be for them to see all these petitions coming in and seeing how massive it is. If the women know of any men that could use this, please help them out. Baby mamas, help your baby daddies, because they need to be out here to help our sons and our daughters be raised. It's true. Like, it matters. If they're not okay, we're not okay, and vice versa. It's just got to work right.
The struggle is real.
Yes.
And it's a reverse cycle all the time.
I hope today's show did something for you guys. I hope it encouraged you. I hope you guys can follow Shalon and follow Jerome, follow the outlet, get involved, reach out. Chase, I know you said you wanted to help out with the trust fund for Jonathan's kids. We will get more information. This relationship does not end here. We will tell you, like we tell all of our guests, we are here to be a vessel for you guys and connect you to them so that your agenda is pushed. Thank you so much for taking the time out. I can't even tell you how much it meant to us to have you here.
Thank you so much.
I didn't even know that.
And we always ask one of you guys to say, in this case, each of you, to say something to the people, just your message. What can you give them? Pow, strong one.
As a mother, listen to your children, be there for them, love them, because you just never know what tomorrow brings. And as far as uplifting your sons, your daughters, just be their support. You are their number one teacher, you are their biggest fan, and you are their number one supporter.
All I gotta say is, fellas, we don't like to be lectured for 30 minutes, so simple. Let's get together, man. And for those, you don't got nobody to talk to, you know what I'm saying? Holla at me, Jerome Rodriquez on Facebook. It ain't hard to contact me. We can get together as men, man, and talk about things that we're not comfortable talking about to a female. You know what I'm saying? So I'm here to help you to gain that confidence, so you can approach, the young lady the right way. So holla at me, man.
I love yeah. Okay. I ain't got nothing to say after that.
Drop the mic.
Peace and love, and stop the violence, y'all. All right. The outlet is going out. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please share the videos. They're still good. You could still talk to us on there. And I'm going to post the horoscopes because I know I didn't give you guys the horoscopes today. So I'm going to post it on our page. Okay. Love, peace, bye. Enjoy. Shine bright.